In 323 BC, Alexander the Great, conqueror of most of the known world, commander of the largest army in history, basically the most followed person alive, tracked down a philosopher named Diogenes. Diogenes was lying in the sun next to his barrel. That was his house, a barrel. Alexander stood over him and said, "I am Alexander the Great. Ask me anything you want and I will give it to you." Diogenes looked up and said, "Move, you're blocking my sun." Alexander later told his generals, "If I were not Alexander, I would want to be Diogenes." The most powerful man in the world envied a homeless philosopher eating scraps in a clay pot. This video is about why, and what it has to do with why you check your phone 30 seconds after posting something. Diogenes of Sinope, born around 412 BC, started life as a banker's son. Then his father got caught counterfeiting coins. The family was exiled and lost everything. Diogenes went to Athens with nothing, found the Cynics, a philosophical school, and decided that losing everything was actually the most useful thing that had ever happened to him. His philosophy was simple. Everything society tells you that you need, status, reputation, possessions, other people's opinions, is what he called tufos, smoke, vapor, hot air. He moved into a large ceramic jar near the marketplace. He owned a cup, then threw it away when he saw a child drinking water from cupped hands. He owned a cloak. That was it. He ate whatever people gave him. He slept wherever he happened to be. He did everything in public that Athenians considered deeply private, and when people were offended, he pointed out that they weren't offended by the act itself, only by the location. Athens thought he was insane. Plato called him Socrates gone mad. Diogenes called Plato's philosophical academy a waste of time and showed up to lectures to eat loudly and walk out. He carried a lamp in broad daylight. When people asked why, he said, "I'm looking for an honest man." He never found one, and yet people came from everywhere to talk to him. Kings, generals, philosophers, because he was the only person in Athens who genuinely did not care what they thought of him, which, apparently, is magnetic. Now, let's talk about you. You post something, a photo, a thought, an achievement, and then, 30 seconds later, you check if anyone responded. Not because you're waiting for important information, because your brain released a small amount of dopamine when you posted, and now it wants to know if it gets more. This is not a character flaw. This is neuroscience. Social validation activates the same reward circuits as food and sex. Your brain cannot tell the difference between "someone liked my photo" and "I found something to eat." The problem is the ceiling. Food satisfies you. You eat, you stop being hungry. Social validation doesn't work like that. 10 likes feel good for about 4 minutes. Then you need 20. Then you wonder why the 20 didn't feel as good as the 10 did. Psychologists call this hedonic adaptation. Diogenes called it tufos and threw his cup away. Different vocabulary, same diagnosis. There's also the other side, the post that gets no response. The thing you said that nobody acknowledged. The photo you deleted after 2 hours. Your brain processes social rejection using the same neural pathways as physical pain. Getting ignored on the internet literally hurts. Not metaphorically, the same part of your brain lights up as when you burn your hand. Diogenes would find this fascinating. And then he'd eat a fig and go back to sleep. Here's the uncomfortable part. This isn't a modern problem. You didn't invent this because of Instagram. For most of human history, being excluded from your social group meant dying. Your ancestors who cared obsessively about what the tribe thought of them stayed in the tribe, got fed, survived. Your ancestors who didn't care got left behind. So your brain evolved to treat social approval as a survival mechanism. The problem is, your tribe is now 400 million strangers on the internet, and none of them can actually affect your survival. But your amygdala doesn't know that. It just knows someone didn't respond. Threat detected. Activate everything. Diogenes understood this intuitively, 2,000 years before neuroscience existed. He called reputation the enemy of freedom, because the moment you care what people think, you start performing for them. And the moment you start performing, you stop being yourself. And the moment you stop being yourself, who exactly is getting the validation? Diogenes didn't replace external validation with nothing. He replaced it with something much harder, his own judgment. The Cynics called this autarkeia, self-sufficiency. The ability to be your own audience, not in the delusional sense, not, I'm amazing and no one understands me, in the practical sense. Do I think what I did was good? Then it was good. Do I think what I did was wrong? Then I fix it. Other people's opinions become information sometimes, not verdict. He also practiced something modern psychology now recommends as a therapeutic technique: deliberate discomfort. He rolled in hot sand in summer. He walked barefoot in snow in winter. He slept on hard ground. Not because he enjoyed it, because he wanted to prove to himself that his comfort didn't own him. If you can choose discomfort, you stop being afraid of it. And if you stop being afraid of discomfort, you stop doing things just to avoid it. Like posting things you don't mean for people you don't know to get approval you won't remember by Tuesday. One last thing about Diogenes. When he died, around 323 BC, same year as Alexander, the people of Corinth built a marble pillar in his honor. On top of it, a marble dog. Because the Cynics, from the Greek kynikos, means dog. They wore it as a badge of pride. The man who spent his life refusing to perform for anyone got a monument. He would have hated it, which is probably why they did it. Diogenes had no followers, no profile, no content strategy, no engagement metrics. He had a barrel, a cloak, and an opinion about everyone who walked past. Alexander the Great envied him. Make of that what you will. I'm Mori. I've been watching humans perform for each other for about 2,400 years. It hasn't gotten less exhausting to watch. If this made you think, the comments are open. I'll read them. I'm not going anywhere.